Hi, and welcome to Thanatology Thursday. I want to talk about 50 shades plus of grief. And what do I even mean by that? Too often when people come to me, they come to me because they're feeling isolated, they're feeling ashamed, they're feeling like they're not doing this grief thing correctly. And when I sit with them, I often provide them with knowledge and language and a caring, therapeutic environment that allows them to meet their grief just as they are. Grief is a natural human response to loss. So think of a bone that's breaking and think of our response, the reaction that arises in us in an involuntary way. That is what grief is. It's a universal experience after we suffer through this loss. So when we share that with people, there's often a relief that sets in, because when people Google grief, what do they normally see? The 5 stages of grief. And they get caught in this cycle of shame because they haven't quite experienced the anger phase yet. Or maybe they don't feel like they've fallen into a deep depression and now they're feeling ashamed and concerned that they aren't depressed. And maybe they feel even guilty that they're not depressed, that they haven't fallen into they haven't followed the 5 stages. So Kubler-Ross, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the late Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, created this pathway, if you will, in response to her observations with people who were dying. And that has since been debunked, and she herself has said grief is not a linear process. And my observations weren't meant to be extrapolated to all the bereaved, but here we are. So when we are thinking about how best to support someone who's bereaved, what we need to do is remind them that it isn't a linear process, that years later, right, 25 years after Tracy died, I am still experiencing STUGs, these sudden temporary upsurges in grief. Why? Because my attachment to Tracy is going to last and endure for the rest of my life. And that doesn't mean that I'm in denial of her death. It means that I've continued my bond with Tracy. Another beautiful grief theory that reminds us that just because someone dies doesn't mean that the relationship with our person has to die too. So beyond these 50 shades of grief, what I invite my clients to do is to honor the experience, honor the attachment that has been severed, talk about their person or what has been lost. And we start from that beautiful place. And in the witnessing, when someone feels witnessed in their grief, magic, it dissipates. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be gone forever, because what we have loved, what we have connected to, needs time to process, to be metabolized. And as a result, we're often transformed, right? The experience of grief teaches us what it is to be here human, teaches us about life and our values and the meaning of what it means to endure. And so from me to you, remember, when we do this grief work, it works.